Hey babes, my name's Diamond and I read a blog called The Fancy Girls Guide, and I empower women to elevate their lives through fashion, lifestyle, and self-care. Today's video has been highly requested. This is going to be the part 2 of Stop Dating Men That Hate You, red flags that you may be overlooking. Like, honestly, I was not expecting this video, the last one, to do so well. And so many people have been like, oh, we need a part 2. We need you to, give us some more tea. So I am here with another round of signs that that man probably hates you. He's probably jealous. He's not serious about you. Or that he's just not the man for you. So if you like these type of videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have reached over 1,000 subscribers. That is literally so exciting. And I'm so thankful for all of you babes. Like, welcome, welcome, welcome to the community. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, because that will send the video out to more women, more people, so that they can watch it and hopefully it can help them as well. Make sure you turn on the bell so that you can be notified. I upload several times a week, so turn on those notifications and share this video with a friend, and then go back and watch part 1 if you have not seen that one. Let's go ahead and get into the video. First, let me just say again, this is not a like man bashing video. I love men, truly like healthy masculine men. Like, I just love them so much and they're wonderful. So we are going to be talking about those men that maybe are not such good men, or maybe they're just not in the best place in their lives, which is like, whatever. We're not judging, but we want to do what's best for us. So the very first one, and then these are in like no particular order, but the very first one is going to be, watch out for men who say that they are not looking for a commitment, and then they proceed to behave as if they desire commitment in order to confuse you into thinking that they have committed when they truly haven't. And the other side of this is men who say they're not looking for a commitment, but then they expect you to behave as if you are a committed woman. This is a man who words and actions does not align. And, there is nothing good in confusion. And the desire to try to confuse you, oh, I'm not really looking for a commitment, but I'm going to behave as if I'm your boyfriend. And then I'm sure you have seen so many women, or maybe you have been a woman where you're like, he said he doesn't want a commitment, but you're going on dates, you're, hanging out with his friends and his family, and like talking on the phone every single day. And he might be doing literally all of the things that you would want a boyfriend to do or a husband to do, but he's just not your boyfriend and he's just not your husband. And it will be in those times where he does not meet your expectations and you try to share that, where it's going to be like, well, I told you, like, I wasn't really that serious about you. Or it could literally be like a random, like, everything's going good, and then he just doesn't talk to you for like 2 or 3 days. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? Why haven't you talked to me in days? Well, I told you that I'm not looking for a relationship. Child, it is just more of a headache than it is worth. Now, if you are intentionally dating, which I would recommend, because if you're not intentionally dating, child, personally, I think it's a waste of time. Like, that's just not for me at this stage of my life. But if you're just out and you just want to have fun, and maybe you're just trying to find what you like, be aware of, if he says he's not looking for a commitment, then you need to make sure that you keep that at the forefront of your mind. So when you deal with him, you only are dealing with him on your terms, because that's what he's doing with you. And the best way to not get too caught up in that is to take sex off the table. That's something I would recommend with any man that is not your man, but specifically for those guys that are trying to pretend like, oh, I'm not looking for nothing serious, but then they're expecting you to like act like their girlfriend, and like then you're doing stuff and it's like, whoa, how you doing all of that? What do you mean? How am I doing all of that? I'm single. What are you talking about? Okay, babes. So number two is going to be men that do not protect you physically and emotionally. Now, the example that I am going to use is going to be like if you're in a relationship, or even if you are at a point where you've possibly like you're dating a guy, you've met his family or his friends. If you are dating a man and his mom is like outright mean to you, like, and I don't mean like, oh, I'm not sure if Miss Betty likes me. No, I mean if his mom or his family, like if they're making fun of you, they're like super like critical or whatever. If you're dating a man and he allows people to mistreat you, if he doesn't have the courage, maybe he treats you great, but maybe he just doesn't have the courage to set boundaries with the people in his life. Child, that is going to be such a battle for you for the rest of your life. Now, I'm not necessarily saying like kick him to the curb, but that's something that you're going to need to express to him and let him know how important and how serious that is for you. Like if if he has sisters and his sisters are like outright mean to you or like bully you or like, I hear a lot of particularly like dark skinned women having this experience of like going to a guy's family and like they make fun of like they're light skinned or something, and then they make fun of her for being dark skinned, and then he's like, oh no, they're just playing. And it's like, no, this is actually like really emotionally hurtful. And the fact that you would allow people to treat me this way shows that like you don't really care for me as much as I desire to be cared for. And child, and if it's not what you're looking for and it's not enough, then it's just not enough. Like if a man loves you, babe, he's standing on business. Like if a man loves you, he is standing on business. Do you understand like what I'm saying? Like a man leaves his family and clings to his wife. Do you understand? So he's not going to let his family and their toxic behavior hurt you physically or emotionally. So keep that in mind. Number three is going to be a man that lies a lot. Sometimes you don't know that a man is lying to you. So you have to pay attention to how he behaves with other people. Is he on the phone lying to his mom? Like, I had a friend who would, like, he mentioned to me how he, like, lies to his mom sometimes. I'm just thinking, like, one, this is something that you are sharing with me and that you're doing regularly. And essentially, what that is saying is that I am willing to lie to get my way. Like, I'm not talking about somebody, like, if you just saw, I posted a TikTok where I was saying basically how I told my mom that I was walking out of the door and I really wasn't walking out of the door. But even a little lie like that made me like, it just gave me the ick. It's like, yo, I'm 30 years old. I don't have to be lying to nobody. Like, I have nothing to hide, and there's nobody that's going to beat me up or put me on punishment. So, like, no, I'm gonna tell you the truth because that is my character. And so if you are talking to a guy and you just notice that he's so willing to just lie to people, and he's so willing to just mislead people and just act like, oh, it's no big deal. If he's willing to lie to get his way in other situations, you can only imagine what he's going to do with you because people are what their habits are. Now, if you're saying to yourself, like, well, child, sometimes I be lying. Well, you probably are a match made in heaven with this guy. He's going to lie to you, you're going to lie to him. But if you are a person that is honest or you desire to be an honest person, for the most part, and you're working towards like getting rid of certain bad qualities that you have, you need to pay attention to the fact that this man is so openly and regularly lying to other people, even in the smallest ways. Like if a person will lie about something small, child, they will definitely lie about something big. And you do not want to be making a 50 part TikTok about the lies that some man then told you. You know what I mean? Like, child, I'm not interested, okay? Number four is going to be he ignores the things that you like. So I'm going to give you an example. There was a guy who we chatted a little bit. He, asked me, oh, what do you like? What are your hobbies? Like, basically, what are you into? So I told him the things that I enjoy. So his response was, "Oh, let's go on a date. Let's, grab a drink or something." I said, "Oh, I don't really drink, but I'm open to doing or something. Like, I'm open to doing something else, but like, I don't want to go drink with you." So he sets up the place. He sends me the place, and the place is literally like a little bar place. And it's like, if I just said, "I don't like this," you insisting on taking me somewhere that you know that I do not like, where I am not going to be comfortable, I can only imagine what else you're going to try to push off on me. And the reality is that I'm not so thirsty that I'm like, "Oh, I really need to go on a date." I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need to be here. Like, I actually don't need to talk to you. Like, I wish you well. It's no hard feelings, but I just don't desire to even give somebody the opportunity to take up space in my life when I openly share to you what I enjoy, what I desire, what I like, where I'm comfortable, and you completely ignored that and insisted that I do something that does not align with me. Now, you're probably thinking like, "Okay, so you don't drink." It's not that I don't drink. It's just that personally, if I'm going out on a first date with a man, I'm not I'm not comfortable going out to a bar and having drinks. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel safe here. I don't know you, and I'm not going to put myself in a position to where I'm going to a bar, a place that I don't even want to be in, sipping on some water so that you can have the opportunity to get to know me, because baby, I didn't reach out to you. I wasn't looking for you. I was minding my business. And so that's just my 2 cents. If a man is deliberately ignoring the things that you like if you're dating a man and you have expressed to him, like, "Oh, babe, I love flowers so much. Like, I would just love to get some flowers." If you're sending him places that you want to go and things that you want, and it's like he's not following up on any of these things, it's because he's really not that interested and he doesn't really care. If you've done your part, you've communicated what you like clearly in a way that an adult man should understand, just accept the fact that he doesn't like you that much. And yeah. Number 5 is going to be if he directly or indirectly accuses you of being a gold digger, particularly if he doesn't have any gold. If he's like, "Yeah, I just feel like, women who feel like you need to take them to these nice places or just gold diggers," or it's like, "Yeah, I need to go out with a woman several times before I spend money on her. Yeah, let's just go on a park date. Let's just go on a walk so that I can make sure that you're interested in me, so I know that you're not after me for my money." And it's like, sir, if I was after somebody for their money, I wouldn't be talking to you. You make $70,000 a year. Which is no shade to men who make $70,000 a year, because you can live pretty good on $70,000 a year if you're responsible and you do the things that you're supposed to do. I'm just saying, it's like, if I was going after men that had money, I wouldn't be dating you. I would be dating the men who actually have the money. I would be dating the bankers. I would be dating the, ball players. I would be dating literally the men that have the money. I'm not going to be trying to squeeze millions out of a cactus. Like, no, it doesn't make any sense. Like, which is whatever your preference is, like whatever lifestyle that you're desiring, you should date men that align with that lifestyle. That's just my perspective. Every woman doesn't need to be with a man that's a millionaire. You don't even want a millionaire lifestyle. You don't even really care about this kind of stuff. And every woman, just because she's lonely, doesn't need to try to date some guy who doesn't have anything and try to put him on. Like, you have to figure out what you truly want, and then you have to understand that what the men who have what you want, what they're looking for in return. And if you can understand that and you're willing to align yourself with your desires, and dating is going to be like anything else. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to align yourself with the ways that lawyers behave, the places that they go, the education that they have. It's the same thing with dating. If you want to date a man of a particular tax bracket, then you have to understand what their interests are. You probably should read some of the books that they are probably reading. You should go to the places where they hang out. That's just a little sidebar. We can talk a little bit more about that later if you ladies like. The next one is going to be if a man tries to isolate you from friends, families, or communities where you have support, that's a huge red flag. Like if you start dating a guy and he like starts to guilt trip you about like doing your own things, like, oh, I don't want you going out with your friends. I don't, oh, you're always on the phone. Like he doesn't want you talking to your family. He doesn't want you doing the extracurricular like activities that you already were doing when you met him. He's like, essentially trying to take up all of your free time and isolate you from the people that care about you. And that's probably because he's going to start doing some pretty terrible things to you. And after he has isolated you from the people that care about you, your natural inclination is going to be a little bit like, a little embarrassed to go back and be like, oh, this is what was going on with this relationship. And so if a man is doing something like that, that's like a major red flag. If you're in that situation, babe, I am praying for you. And just know that there are people that can help you. You don't need to be embarrassed. Reach out to the people that love you because they love you and they care and they want to help you. And I just felt in my spirit like that I needed to say that. Like, if you have isolated yourself from your family and friends and people that care about you, and I don't care if it's been 6 months or a year or 3 years or 5 years, you deserve to be safe and to be cared about and to not be in a situation where this person is controlling your life. And I pray that you get help, and just know that there are people who have gone through this, who have been able to get out of it and to heal from it. And it can be scary, it can be emotional, but like, you truly deserve better. And yes, I am totally keeping you in my prayers. Number 7 is going to be if he talks about the future and you're not in it. Now, when you're talking to a man and he's talking about the future and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you're like, well, where am I going to be at when you're doing all of this? Like, if he's not saying we, and he's not like asking you about what you desire in the future, because here's the thing, a man that's truly invested and interested and loves and cares about you, he is going to want to know what you desire. What are your plans? What do you want? So that he can incorporate what you want into what he wants, so that he can, build the vision for where you all are going together. You are dating a man and you're at the point where it's like, more serious, it's more committed. And even just slightly, I would say this is kind of one of those things where you kind of know how serious a person is and where they're thinking. Now, of course, some men might be trying to gas you up and be like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But the way to tell the difference in somebody that's being serious is if a man is telling you like, yeah, babe, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Notice the things that he says that he's going to do in the like short term, and notice if you all actually do those things. Because a man might be like, oh yeah, like I want to get married to you and blah blah blah, because he's just trying to get you to do whatever it is that he wants to do, right? But if he says like, oh babe, we're gonna go on this trip at this time, or oh, I want you to go with me to meet up with all my friends are having something, I want you to come with me. And then the time comes and it's like, oh, something came up, like, oh, I ain't really, or he just doesn't ever mention it again. That's when you know, like, oh babe, like, nah, he's not serious. Like, he just said anything. Or if you're dating a man, like, and it's been, I would say like 6 months, like 6 months plus, which 6 months is a long time to be dating somebody and they're not talking about what's next. Like, what's next? 6 months, sir? I'm looking for a man with a plan, babe. Like, you cannot be taking up all of my time and you're like, oh yeah, next year in 2 years, I'm going on this vacation. You're going on this vacation, babe. You haven't paid for this vacation. This is not something you already had planned prior to meeting me. These are plans that you are making without me. Like, I get it, oh, if it's a boys trip, but like you're telling me that we're dating and then you're talking about going to, you know, Europe next summer for a week or whatever, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm like, it's a solo thing. And it's like, it's a solo thing. Like, you don't want me to be there with you. And even if it's like, if he's okay, you're going on this trip by yourself, but what are we doing together? And this is what I'm saying. It's like there's subtle nuances because a person is allowed to still live their life how they want to live their life. But also you have to recognize when a person is living their life and you're not gonna be there. Because he already knows that in 3 months he's gonna be moved on to some other girl. Or he's waiting for the girl that he really wants to get out of the situation that she's in, or to come back from wherever she's at, or you never really know what it is. But if he's not planning a future and talking about you in it, is because you're not going to be in his future, babe. But luckily there's going to be somebody else that's going to be in your future, so you just have to pay attention to that. Our last thing on our list is going to be if he says that you remind him of things that are not like positive or romantic things to remind him of. So the example that I'm thinking of is I was 22. I was dating this guy and I was just so like in love with him. Like, child, you could not have told me that he was not the one for me. And he told me that I reminded him of this Drake song. And I listened to the song, and the song was basically about this girl from the past that he's like, oh yeah, we had some good times together. Like, basically like, I loved you, but, and I'm thinking like, child, how do I remind you of some song about some guy that didn't treat this girl right and now he got regrets? You think I want you to think of me when you hear this? And it was like, okay, well, where's the songs about the love that you have for me? And like, oh, I was looking at this interview of this couple and it made me think of you. Don't think of me when you are listening to some man talking about how he should have treated her better. No, treat me better now. Like, if he is telling you that you remind him of things like certain songs or certain toxic stuff, like if a man tells you that you remind him of like some woman that like gets done wrong but always forgives a man, like you see those couples that are like, this man is really treating this woman wrong, but it's like, oh yeah, she with me through thick and thin. Like, yeah, I done dogged her out, I done cheated on her and had 17 babies on her, but she always got my back. Baby, I'm not gonna remind you of that. I'm not gonna remind you of that. And if you think that I remind you of that, thank you for letting me know, because I am taking the escape route, baby. No, you can have it. You can have it. Your next girl can remind you of this if that's what you're looking for, because I'm never going to be the one that's going to keep forgiving you for doing things that you're constantly doing. Like, I will forgive you, but I'm going to forgive you from a distance. I'm going to wish you well and go about my business. Because I just don't have time for that. Like, life is precious. You only get one. And I have committed myself to the Lord. I have committed myself to, it's my walk with Jesus. And I don't have time for you to be trying to dog me out when it's already hard enough to do whatever it is I'm trying to do. No. You can have it. Bye. No, baby. Yeah. Okay, babes. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. This is part 2. I had so much fun recording this. I hope that you all love this as much as you love the first one. And please let me know in the comments do we need a part 3? Let me know in the comments if we need a part 3. And if there's any other videos that you want to see from me, or just anything that you want my perspective on, let me know in the comments. Also, it's your turn to share. What type of red flags have you seen? And of the things that I listed, have you experienced any of these things? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you, babes, for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up so that more ladies can find this video. And make sure you share it with a friend, because why not? Oh, and if you haven't watched part 1, go watch part 1 and let me know which video you like better. Thank you so much. I hope you babes have a wonderful week. Bye.